Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and today we're visiting with Natalie Taul. She's the Grayson County Extension Agent for Family Consumer Sciences. Food and meals are like one of my favorite things about the day, but it does take some planning, and you have some tips for us today.
It does. It takes some planning, and even planning can be really intimidating, when we think about it. And I think the most important thing when it comes to planning our meals is to find something that works with your schedule. What is the most stressful part about meals for you? Is it your breakfast? Is it dinner? Is it, it's finding what that is. You don't have to prep all of them. So I think that's kind of the key, is to finding what works for you and it's going to make your life easier. So
Absolutely. And everybody, I feel like, has a different method. You hear some people, they meal
they
prep
do.
all day on Sunday and then they're done for the rest of the week. Unfortunately, that doesn't work for me.
It does not work for me either. And just for myself, it's taken a lot of trial and error. But meal prepping does not have to be that whole like all day in the kitchen on Sunday and all your meals for the week are prepped. Because if we're being real, you know, sometimes we're going to eat out. Sometimes we're going to go other places for dinner. Maybe you have a family member, you have something that week. So what I have found that works for me is when I cook my regular meals, not necessarily in a batch or bulk, cook my regular meals. When I go to put it away, I go ahead and pre-portion into separate bowls rather than throwing it all into one large storage container and throwing it in the fridge, because I'm less likely to get that large container out and portion it. I am more likely to just grab a portion, throw it in my lunchbox, and take it with me, whether it's, breakfast or lunch. Dinner, I think, can be a little more difficult, especially if you're feeding a family, because that's what I'm doing. And the thought of prepping that much food at one time is really overwhelming. But one thing you can do to kind of help with dinner plans is to go ahead and prep your ingredients. If you have meat you're going to marinate, go ahead and throw that in the refrigerator in the marinade. If you have vegetables you're going to chop, go ahead and chop those up as you're putting them in the refrigerator for storage. So when you go to prep that dinner, all of that's already done and you're literally just kind of dumping it in, throwing it together.
I think a lot of times people don't even think about dinner until like an hour before. And I was kind
Right.
of shocked by that, right? Because thawing,
Yes,
thawing meat and getting
yes,
ingredients ready. But even so, you can maybe kind of have some of those instant quick meals that you can make and still have a meal for your family.
yes, absolutely. And now, not everything, sometimes I get caught up in my head that everything needs to be fresh and homemade. And, no, there are click buttons for a reason. There is, do that Walmart pickup or that grocery store pickup. Use those easy buttons. You can very easily make a boxed meal, a healthy, nutritious meal for your family. Release yourself from the guilt. Use those easy buttons.
And it's probably something that we need to include our families in.
Yes,
I know that, maybe a theme night or something that they
yes.
can help with.
Yes, that can be fun and it can relieve some of the stress. So Taco Tuesdays, Stir Fry Fridays, Slow Cooker Sundays. And if preparing the details or planning the details is too much for you, center your meal around one protein and one vegetable, and add the other things in as you go. So at least on Tuesdays you're going to have taco. Is it going to be chicken or beef? Or shrimp? Are you going to have seafood? On a seafood night, are you going to have fish, shrimp, crab legs? Figure out what that meat or that protein is going to be, and then throw things together around that. That can relieve some of the stress as well.
Yeah, and I think it's fun because, we want to teach our kids some of these skills.
Research shows us and tells us that the more children are involved in meal prepping, meal planning, growing their fruits and vegetables, and actually, participating in a garden, harvesting a garden, they're more likely to try new things and to eat nutritious foods. And nutritious, that's another thing that I haven't really talked about. Not only can meal prepping help you plan more nutritious meals, it can also help you save money. Honestly, that's the main reason that I started meal prepping for my breakfast and lunch, because once I have my lunch prepped, I don't have to run out and grab something. So it's helped save me money over the course of a month or so. We have different calendars. We have different publications that you can utilize. So I always encourage people to contact their FCS agent at their local extension office because we have tons of resources and publications that we can provide you to give you tips and tricks on how you can make it easier for you.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.